The lecture hall of the Galactic Academy was a marvel of architecture, its walls lined with adaptive crystal that shimmered softly in the spectrum most species found calming. Students from over 100 civilizations gathered in tiered seats, murmuring in anticipation. The course, Comparative Survival Cultures, was known to draw large crowds. Professor Thrykel, a venerable Sithari with translucent skin and slow, deliberate speech, adjusted his breathing apparatus. "Today," he announced, "we will study the concept of a Deathworlder. These are beings from planets so hostile, their evolution has shaped them into survivors beyond reason." The students leaned forward curious. Most had read about humans, but very few had actually seen one. The professor raised a clawed hand toward the door. That was when the human walked in. Tall, broad-shouldered, and wearing only a simple academy uniform, Cadet Marcus Hale moved with a predator's grace. His eyes scanned the room. Not hurriedly, but sharply, as though cataloging exits, threats, and opportunities in a single glance. Conversation stuttered into silence. The air itself seemed to tighten. Among the students was Jurek, a Lenavarian with spine ridges across his neck. His people prided themselves on their warrior caste, and he bristled at the human's casual dominance. To him, Marcus looked less like a student and more like a soldier who had wandered into the wrong hall. Professor Thrykel continued, though his voice trembled. "Mr. Hale represents humanity. His homeworld, Earth, is categorized as Class 5 hazard, extreme weather, toxic flora, hypercarnivorous fauna, and constant tectonic upheaval. Yet, here he stands." Whispers surged across the room. "Impossible. No species could thrive there. They exaggerate their history." Jurek sneered. "If his world is so deadly, how did his species avoid extinction?" Marcus didn't flinch. He stepped down into the open space at the front of the hall, his presence filling it like a storm cloud. "We didn't avoid it," he said, his voice steady and low. "We adapted. We learned. We fought everything our world threw at us, and won." A hush fell. Marcus's words weren't boastful. They were fact. The professor nodded nervously. "Perhaps you might share an example, Mr. Hale?" Marcus considered. "On Earth, children play in forests where predators stalk. Not simulations. Real predators. Wolves, bears, big cats. We teach them how to run, how to fight, and how to survive. Our young grow strong not by being sheltered, but by facing danger head-on." Gasps echoed across the amphitheater. On most civilized worlds, predators have been extinct for millennia. Even military recruits trained only in sterile, controlled environments. Jurek's spines flared in challenge. Words. Anyone can claim such things. Marcus's gaze locked onto him, and for a heartbeat the Avarian felt pinned like prey. Then the human smiled faintly. "You want proof?" Before anyone could react, Marcus picked up a shard of crystal fallen from the edge of a student's datapad, razor sharp and glittering. Without hesitation, he dragged it across his own forearm. The cut was deep, blood welling instantly. The class erupted in shock. "He's insane. He'll bleed out." But Marcus was calm. He tore a strip from his uniform sleeve, pressed it against the wound, and tied it in a crude but effective bandage. "On Earth," he said evenly, "we bleed. We break bones. We suffer. And then we heal. Again and again. Pain isn't the end for us. It's just information." The hall was silent, stunned. Even Jurek's challenge died in his throat. Professor Thrykel finally spoke, his voice soft with awe. That is what it means to be a Deathworlder." Marcus looked around at them, hundreds of eyes staring, horrified yet fascinated. "You all live in safe worlds. You don't know what it means to wake every day knowing something stronger, faster, or hungrier might kill you. Humans know. We've always known. And that's why, when killers walk into classrooms, into cities, into galaxies, humans don't freeze. We act. No one dared reply. The air itself seemed to bow beneath his words. Jirik lowered his gaze, spines flattening in something dangerously close to submission. And in that moment, every student in the hall understood why the galaxy feared humans, why Deathworlders didn't just survive. They thrived.